I often recommend movies to clients, which is called Cinematherapy. Here are 3 outstanding movies that show 2 men and 1 woman finding their true selves. Movie number 1, Groundhog Day, starring Bill Murray, towers above other romantic comedies because of its profound depth in portraying the healing and growth of one man. Phil is a narcissistic TV weatherman who travels with his crew, including Rita, to report on Groundhog Day in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. But when a freak snowstorm prevents them from leaving, Phil awakens the next morning to find himself living Groundhog Day all over again, a scenario that repeats itself more than 40 times. Phil likes Rita, but she is put off by his arrogant ways. So when he realizes he's living the same day repeatedly, he begins using the information gained about Rita from previous Groundhog Days to try to manipulate her into loving him. But each time he gets close to tricking her, she sees through his games and slaps him in the face. Despite Phil's arrogance, he longs for love and connection, as we all do. So living the same day repeatedly offers him the opportunity to learn from his mistakes. So next he tries to discover Rita's interest so he can pretend to share them to win her over. When that fails, he tries to be the boyfriend he thinks she wants. And when that fails, he drives himself off a cliff to end his pain, only to wake up to another Groundhog Day. But out of his deep despair, something clicks, and Phil makes a profound change. He decides to stop manipulating Rita and just be himself. And lo and behold, she falls in love with him. In Groundhog Day, the slow and painful journey to finding true self is superbly illustrated in the character of Phil, who was forced to live the same day more than 40 times until he finally gets it right. Movie number 2, Disney's The Kid, starring Bruce Willis, illustrates the process of healing the wounded child, which is a metaphor for the unhealed wounds from childhood that continue to negatively impact us today. Russ is a 40-year-old self-centered yet successful image consultant who is failing in his personal life. The movie begins with the girlfriend telling him, "Every time I'm ready to walk away because I think you'll never be able to love, I see the little boy in you and what could be." Shortly afterwards, Russ discovers an 8-year-old boy wandering his property, only to realize that the boy is him. At first, he rejects his 8-year-old self. "Get out of my life. I want nothing to do with you. You're my past and I'm finished with you." Fortunately, the boy refuses to leave, and little by little, Russ comes to love him. You can watch the movie to see how things turn out, but the important point is this. Many of us who suffered in childhood do not realize that our unhappiness is directly related to unhealed childhood wounds. This powerful movie brings to life the process of learning to embrace your wounded child, so you're able to love yourself and others. Movie number 3. Shirley Valentine, played by Pauline Collins, who won an Oscar nomination for Best Actress, is a middle-aged British housewife whose husband expects a certain dinner on a certain day each week. One evening she deviates from her lifeless routine and cooks eggs and chips, but her indignant husband throws the meal in the sink and demands, "We always have steak on Thursdays. I want steak." Later we find Shirley staring in a mirror, tears streaming from her eyes, asking, "Whatever happened to Shirley Valentine? Where did she go?" When a friend invites Shirley on a trip to Greece, at first Shirley accepts but then nearly backs out in a moment of panic. But somehow she finds the courage to board the plane. When they finally arrive in Greece, her friend meets a man and disappears, and Shirley is left to explore Greece alone. In the process, Shirley Valentine discovers her true self. Many of us lose ourselves in the safety and comfort of routines and relationships. We live on automatic pilot and forget who we are as our lives become hollow shells of the dreams we once had. The rebirth of Shirley Valentine offers hope and guidance to all of us. If you'd like help in finding your true self, then visit my website, SerenityOnlineTherapy.com, to learn more about me and the online services I provide. If you found this video helpful, please click the thumbs up button. And if you want to hear more from me, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right corner of the screen. I'll be publishing a new video every other weekend. And finally, keep paying attention to your life. Until next time.